Why? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy. That's right. We back. It's Monday. I am Stanley Doucette, the host of Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. How's everybody doing? Let's get on into it. How's everybody doing? Y'all had a great weekend? Y'all had a great week since we got off the air last week? Listen, last week podcast, I can't even express to you guys how many people called and just said thank you. Thank you for expressing. Thank you for talking about. Last week we talked about you are worthy, and we was talking about suicide prevention. So we went into a whole bunch of things, but it was the main thing was you are worthy. This week we're going to continue with a part two of you are worthy. But what I want to say on that is it's not going to be anything dealing with suicide or prevention on that side. I just want to talk about you. And one of the things I want to say, you are worthy. You are worthy. We're going to talk today about doubt. About doubt. Now, for all of you that's just logging in for the very first time or just hearing this for the very first time, wherever you are in the world, I want to thank you for logging in. I want to thank you for taking a listen to what we're going to share and talk about. If you don't know, you can go into all of the platforms for podcasts. We're on One Voice Radio. So wherever you decide to go and listen to this podcast and all the previous podcasts, please do so. You could go to our actual website at Let's Talk with StanleyDoucette.com. You could go there and we can go and schedule and make some things happen. So, regardless of where you go, please go do that. And I thank you. I appreciate it. For those that are returning and been back and continue to listen, thank you. I am absolutely humbled by what you do, how you listen, how you share, how you converse with me, the messages, the emails, the comments to share with me your thoughts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Even for those that are haters, thank you. I appreciate you as well. So I want to share all of that stuff. Now let's get into it, right? Oh, I'm sorry. And go to Facebook, Instagram, what's the other one? LinkedIn, as well as the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share. As Gabrielle would tell me, make sure they hit the notification button as well. So you guys make sure y'all hit the notification button as well. But let's get into it. We're talking about doubt. And we still on you are worthy. See, I only have a few points today, but it goes back to still you are worthy. One of the things that I was thinking about this week, and as we are moving forward, when you're talking about you are worthy, what are some of the things that make us doubt that we're even worthy? Huh. I mean, just think about some of those things. Regardless of what, you are still worthy. So I want to kind of share a couple things, and then we're going to get out of here. We won't be as long as we were last week, but just remember, you are worthy. Sometimes things distract us from even being worthy. So let's get into the first one: comparing ourselves to others. Why do we do that? Like, what is it about what other people talk about, say, or do that make us go into we have to compare ourselves to what someone else is doing? Man, it's story after story, it's thought after thought when you come into this, right? So when you talk about comparing yourself, one question I want to just pose to you is this: I'm comparing myself to someone else that's on a different journey, a different assignment. It may even be, and I'll just use my air quotes on this, less than what your assignment will be or maybe. But why are we comparing ourselves to that person? What are we doing? Why are we doing that? Let's come on, family. Let's talk about this thing now. We're comparing ourselves to someone else, and we don't even know their circumstances. Listen, I don't know if you guys have heard this before. When people will share, they will say this: if everybody was in the room and they threw all of their problems in the middle of the floor, right? And you saw everybody's problem, how many of us will grab our problems, our challenges, bring them back and say, you know what, I'm gonna just deal with what I deal with? Yeah, that's the truth, right? So first we have to realize we don't have to compare ourselves to anyone else. We are one of one. We are an original. We are the only. You are, no one else can make you be you but you. So just be you. Have that confidence in being you. Don't doubt. Don't second guess who you are. Why? Because you're worthy. Don't do that. See, a lot of times we would go and compare, and we're looking at what this one have, as they say, keeping up with the Joneses, right? So the Joneses have this house. This house is worth, a couple $1,000,000, and oh, I want this house, and I want this, and I want that. That's great. But do we know what's going on in that house? Is it really their house? Are they purchasing? Do they have a mortgage? Is it actually rented? We don't know. So don't compare the 4-bedroom house that you have that's only worth in your head, $600,000, because you're still thinking about this 2 million. Be grateful for what you have right there. Be happy for that $600,000 house. Some people may not even have that. So let's not compare what the Joneses are doing. Let's stay where we are right here, right now, and help ourselves keep moving forward. Now, pause here. Here's another part we compare ourselves, because a lot of it is all material, right? A lot of it is all material. We comparing how somebody looks. Girl, she got on these great shoes. Man, look at that suit. Look at this car. Look at this watch. Look at this bracelet. Look at this. All of it is material. All of it is material. Stop allowing the material things to make us feel a certain way. A lot of times we are comparing ourselves to someone that is not even authentic. Yes, sir, I said it. They're not even authentic. They're so busy trying to cover themselves. Or in some cases, ladies may have on makeup. You say makeup is to help cover some of the blemishes and all of those things, right? You don't even know who that person really is. So don't compare yourself to them. That creates doubt in your own mind. Don't allow that door to be open where doubt just continues to flood. You are worthy. You're one of a kind. You are an original. You are that guy, or just say that dude or that lady. You are him or you are she. All right? You are her. Let's keep that in mind as we're moving forward and pursuing other things in life. Don't doubt who you are by comparing yourself to somebody else. You don't, and again, I'm gonna say this, you don't even know the circumstances, but let's not compare ourselves to that other person. Please, let's not do that and create that doubt and then create, all of these things in your head and then go from there. Let's not do that. Number two, ooh, this is a good one. We are fixed on a particular outcome. I mean, we are just fixed on that outcome. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have that. Okay? I'm going to pick up this book, I'm going to read this chapter, and I'm going to get this, regardless of what. So let's just dive into this a little bit more. Fixed on a particular outcome. First of all, it is not your responsibility to say the outcome. That's for your creator. That's not for you. All right. So let's just stop there. We cannot be fixed on the outcome of any situation or any solution. I want you guys to think about this. Now, I learned, I understood this, and it kind of was like amazing. But wow, how powerful it is. From how I understand it, is when an airplane take off, they are sometimes up to 70% off course. If you think about that, 70% off course, you're like, how will I ever get into Copenhagen? Or how will I ever get into Puerto Rico if I'm 70% off track during the course of the actual flight? Well, that's easy. That's easy. Eventually, you get to your destination, right? Or most of the time, you get to your destination. But if they stay talking with the airline pilots, the aviation, how to say division, lack of words, they literally began moving around obstacles. They moving around different wind patterns and clouds and rains and turbulence and all of those other things to make your flight smooth. Well, this is something for somebody. But when you're fixed on how you want your outcome, you go through all kind of unnecessary things. So when you are fixed on something and you're still trying to say, hey, look at me, look at me. No, don't get fixed on it, because that creates doubt. Because why? You're creating unnecessary things in your life. So if you fixed on whatever it is and you're trying to go straight, I give you an example. I give you an example. I think this will help. I think it'll give you an example. So if I'm driving down the street and the GPS says go point A to point B and this is the route, you have to go down X street to get to your destination. But let's say you're going down that street and unfortunately there's an accident and the road is blocked and your GPS takes you to make 5 or 6 different turns to get to your destination, right? And you're like, you can do one or two things. You can use what the GPS is saying, 5 or 6 different turns and directions, and you can get to your destination, or you can stay there and wait. Ooh, ooh. You can stay there and wait until the traffic is clear. But now at that time, whatever you were going, whatever location you were going to, whatever event you were going to, or whatever it may be, you may absolutely miss that particular event because you were fixed on going straight. You were fixed on going straight. And the road was blocked. They had detour signs. They had, the big bubble lights, everything going on, but you were fixed and going that straight way, even though GPS told you to go 5 or 6 different ways. They had street signs that have detours, the orange signs, go this way, go this way. But you were fixed because you wanted the outcome your way. Stop being selfish. Stop. You don't always have the answers. And sometimes your creator will send something to you to help you move along. So when an airline or the airplane is flying and it gets up to 70% off course, right? That's not always a bad thing, because if it would have went straight, it may have went through turbulence, it may have went through a thunderstorm, a lightning storm, or whatever else it was moving away from. How about another airplane it was moving away from? But if the pilot stayed on course and didn't have any flexibility and then try to move one way or the other, guess what happens? You stay stuck on that actual thing. And now you don't know what accidents could have occurred. So if you're on the plane, you don't know what accidents could have occurred. If you're on the ground and you're driving, you don't know what type of driving that could have taken. I'm sitting here and I don't know why this just keep backing up in my head, but I remember having a conversation with my mentor, and he was sharing with me to make sure I can't even talk right, to make sure that I express myself all the way through in the conversation. Why? Because there are some things when you don't express, or you may stop your sentence, that the other person may miss and it not allow them to get to the proper outcome, right? You may know it, others may know it, but the person you're speaking to may not have any clue of where you're going. So if you're fixed on just giving this information, but you're not even completing the sentence, right? And then you get upset, and then you like, how you not know? How you don't know the outcome? I told you, no, what you did was you gave bits and pieces of information, not the total communication. So the intellect of that other individual can actually understand it, receive it, comprehend it, let it roll in their brain to understand exactly what you're saying. So when we get fixed to anything, we have to make sure that we don't have a fixed on a particular outcome. What we want to do is make sure we get to that destination as safe as we possibly can, right? Well, yeah, sometimes you may have to go through the rural area. Sometimes you may have to go through the sand or the dirt or the water, whatever it is to get to that particular outcome. Here's the great thing. You still got to the outcome. You still got to the outcome. And some people get to an outcome that is just absolutely wonderful because your creator helped you to get to that outcome. And it's much better than what it is. So make sure we don't get fixed to an outcome, a particular outcome. Make sure that we're open to everything. So make sure we don't get caught into fixed on a particular outcome. All right, that's important. That's really, really important. The next one I will talk about is what did I write down? Oh, ooh, feeling like an imposter, not feeling that you're worthy. Remember, you are worthy. It's creating doubt. You're not an imposter. When you got that job, it was because you were the one for that job. You are the best. I remember a friend of mine got promoted to I ain't gonna say the stuff, but it was the chief of something. That's the chief of something. And I remember her telling me when she got the job, the first day was almost like it was overwhelming because she was thinking she didn't have all of the tools and everything that it needed for her to be the chief of dot dot dot, right? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Well, how many of us always feel that way? We don't feel that we have all of what it takes to be in that position. I'm a firm believer that that creates big, big doubt. How do you not create that doubt? Is you have to believe in you. But the imposter syndrome is you're still comparing yourself and believing what other people are saying about you. Even the ones that don't like you, you're still listening to them. You are better than that. You are greater than that. You are more important than what the foolishness that they're spewing out. You are worthy. You are absolutely worthy. Yes, you are. Wow, I'm sitting back because as I'm speaking and as I'm talking about doubt, let me ask you guys a question. How much do you doubt yourself? I mean, really, nobody else is in the car. Nobody else is in the room. Nobody else is in your AirPods. Nobody else is in your ear devices. Nobody else is listening with you. How many of us doubt even ourselves? What's some of the reasons why we doubt? Whatever happened, think about this. You're talking about an imposter syndrome. Some of us think we're not even worthy to be in our own skin. Some of us think that the imposter syndrome is just, I'm still being here. I'm still living. Why am I even here? How did I even get here? Don't even believe you're supposed to even be here. Family, regardless of where you are in the world, you're supposed to be here. You are really supposed to be here. You're supposed to be listening to this podcast for a variety of reasons, and you're supposed to be here. You're not an imposter. You're not a fake. You are the vice president for that particular company because you're supposed to be. You are the chief of that particular organization because you're supposed to. You are the director of that particular organization because you're supposed to. You're the entrepreneur because you're supposed to. A lot of times we get overwhelmed by stuff and then we start believing the negativity of other people about us. No, see, people don't know what you have been through. People don't know where you have been through. People don't even know why you've been through things. But you're that guy. You're that lady. You're the one. You're the one that have been set aside to make these things happen. You're not an imposter. I don't know why that particular thing is really struck a chord with me, an imposter. Like you're fake. You're not fake. So many things. And see, I'm looking down even at my hands as I'm speaking and thinking about the whole truth of not feeling, you're feeling that you're not even, you're not worthy. What's creating this huge doubt? You are worthy. You're not an imposter. You can do anything that you set your mind to do. But don't compare yourself to others. Don't get fixed on a particular outcome. Don't believe you're an imposter. Believe in yourself and know where we are going is something even greater. A lot of things, me personally, I think a lot of times, a lot of challenges is this. Um, we doubt ourselves because of something that happened in the past. But here's the last one I want to talk about is trust. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself? Let's be honest. I can't tell you how many times I can say I don't trust myself. I'm not saying that I'm not a good guy, but there are sometimes you'll walk in rooms and here it goes. I start comparing myself. Oh, I see such and such, Mr. So and so that owns such and such. Or if I'm in a spiritual setting, oh, I see Bishop so and so that has such and such. I'm already comparing and already creating doubt for myself and already telling me I don't even deserve to be in that room. Yes. See, a lot of times I don't trust myself because doubt have crept in and I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. Lack of trust. Why am I trusting myself? Because I'm comparing myself to somebody else. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't even be in this room. Oh, I'm happy so I can snap what you call it? Snap a selfie to walk around and be like, look, I was in such and such place with people. But did I actually give a contribution to that particular meeting? No, because I created doubt, because I don't trust myself, because I don't even believe in myself. I don't even think I'm worthy to even be sitting in a room. So, how could I then give a fruitful discussion or have a fruitful conversation with somebody when I'm still doubting myself? See, a lot of times, family, when you start talking to people and you're doubting yourself, you're giving that energy to somebody else, and then they automatically move away because you have already told them with your energy that I don't supposed to be here. And guess what? They believe you and go somewhere else where they're talking to somebody that feels they're supposed to be in a room. If you're in that room, you're supposed to be in that room. Now, the rooms can be a classroom, it could be a church, it could be a mosque, it can be the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. It can be a big old soccer stadium or a football stadium somewhere around the world. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to be there. It could be Parliament. You can be. I don't care what it is. You're supposed to be there. And the truth of the matter is, stop allowing outside forces to keep telling you things that are not true and creating doubt. A liar is always going to be a liar. They're going to find out and figure out a way to lie. You have to understand that. And now get to the next space and go beyond that. So now let's think about this. If we don't compare ourselves to others, if we don't get fixed on a particular outcome and we don't think we're imposters, now that begins to turn. Now it begins to say, you know what? It don't matter what they're doing. I celebrate them. I'm happy for them. I'm grateful for them. Glad they're getting theirs. But that's theirs. That's not mine. And that begins to remove that doubt. That begins to bring more confidence back to you. Like, you know what? I'm happy that they got that NFL contract because I play I play basketball. Hey, what y'all doing? I'm cheering. Thank you. But that's not me. That's not for me. I'm glad you did that. So you're not looking at that person and turning it all kind of ways. When you're looking for that outcome, but it's not particular, it's not a specific thing, but you get the results that you wanted. Guess what happens? You still in that outcome that you wanted. And it's amazing because it also takes the pressure off. Guys, when you start taking pressure off of yourself, when you start not being nervous and afraid and scared and shaking and all of those things, it begins to remove pressure. It begins to remove stress. Bring that stress level down. And remember, you don't have to doubt because somebody else did this or you trying to get to a certain location. As long as you get to the location on time, it don't matter. It don't matter. You may have wanted to go a certain way, but GPS took you another way. Don't matter. You still got there, right? That's what matters. So remember, in this particular podcast, because I didn't want to be long today, you are worthy. Don't allow those three, four things that I pointed out to create doubt, or somebody else to put those things on you to create doubt. Repel those things. Tell them that they are not wanted. You are great. You are important. You are powerful. You are beyond measure. You are the greatest and wildest dream that your ancestors had ever thought about. Now it's time for you to receive it and understand that, yes, you are worthy. There's no more doubt. No more doubt. When you have doubt, think about this podcast. When you have doubt, think about your highly successful sister or brother or aunt or uncle, whatever it may be. When you're thinking like you're not worthy, always remember you are worthy. You would not be in that space if you were not worthy. Family, you are great. I'm going to stop the podcast on this particular time, not because I don't have more information, but I don't feel that we should move forward because I think some people have to sit down and really think about your doubt and why are you doubting. I just gave three. There's a gazillion more, but why are you doubting? So here's homework. Now I'm getting now I'm getting like one of my friends. I'm giving out homework on the podcast. So here is your homework. Your homework is simple. Ask yourself a question. Why am I doubting? Why am I attaching myself to the outcome? Release the outcome. But why am I doing those two things? So number one is, what are you doubting? And number two is, why am I attaching myself to the outcome? That's your homework. Send it to me, email it, send a smoke signal, or reply on YouTube, or reply in our social media. Just send something, right? But that's important because it's going to release you. I'm telling you, when you get that release, you're going to be like, man, I was carrying a lot. We're not carrying anymore. We're releasing because you're worthy. You're going forward. You're worthy. The reason I believe so strongly when I say this, I believe so many people are about to have an enormous amount of blessings come your way. And we want to make sure that the capacity is there for you to receive all of those blessings. All right. So, with that being said, I told y'all this is going to be a short podcast today. I just feel this. But regardless of where you are in the world, whatever you're doing, remember those two things: why you're doubting, what's creating you to doubt, and why you're attaching yourself to all of these outcomes. Once those are answered, then you'll know how to proceed forward. All right. So listen, I love you guys. Thank you guys for listening to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. Remember, I am your host. I am he. We'll be back next week with another powerful episode. I cannot wait to get back in the seat and holla. Have a great, great weekend. And until we talk next week, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the beaches of the world. God bless. And this is going to conclude our podcast. Peace. We out.